Whenever you're making food and it tastes good, but it just doesn't taste great, and you're not dancing, you're not making out with your food yet, it's because it's missing something. You need to go further with the seasoning. And a lot of home cooks will just keep adding salt on salt, but that doesn't do it. You need to make sure you have salt mixed with acid, mixed with fat. That's what gives you that flavor where you start dancing all over that. Hey y'all, how you doing out there? I am so excited to be cooking with y'all again. It's coming straight from my house to yours. Today I'm making one of Nathan's favorite treats that he loves to eat, that he wishes I would make for him all the time. And it's also a family recipe. This is my mom's recipe that she used to make for my Uncle Joe. So it's been a whole family thing and I want to show you how to do it. Mushrooms. Today we are making marinated mushrooms and they're easy, simple, delicious, and nutritious. If you have people coming over, you're getting ready for a party, well, eventually when we're allowed to do that again, or you want a nutritious snack or just something fun as an appetizer, this is a great way to go. Now you want to start with some white button mushrooms. We want to get them whole, make sure they're not the sliced ones. And we're going to take the stems out of the mushrooms. If you push the stem with just a tiny bit of pressure, it will pop right out. These stems are great. You can either cook with, mix with sauces or soups or stocks, or you can put them in your compost pile and have them to start a great garden. Okay, we've taken the stems off of our mushrooms. I'm just gonna put this over here as our little compost pile. Now you wanna score your mushrooms. Scoring just means you're gonna chop it up with a knife. The reason that you score the mushrooms is to get them marinated in there even faster and get the flavor all the way through the mushroom. So you wanna take a knife, always a sharp knife, never a dull knife. This is your best friend. She's your right-hand woman. Take good care of her and she'll take care of you. We're gonna just do a little X right on top. We're gonna score our mushrooms. We're gonna take all these mushrooms and we're gonna score them. You're not going deep. Watch your fingers. You're gonna need them all. So when that happens, it happens. Mushrooms happen. Things happen in the kitchen. If that happens to you, just slice it in half and throw it in the bowl. Listen, if you're cooking for people, they're not going to be worried about what it looks like, right? They're going to be worried that you're cooking, you're probably doing the dishes, and you're feeding them. Okay, we're going to score our mushrooms. We're going to score our mushrooms. We want to make sure they've got good flavor. We want to make sure we get in there. Now, once we've scored our mushrooms, we're going to throw them in our bowl, right? Now, if you've got a short amount of time, you don't have the whole 24 hours to marinate them, you can quarter your mushrooms and it'll speed up the process. Then, of course, don't need to score them. They're already there. The best way to season stuff is good aromatics. Now, one of the best things you can use always, always, always is real garlic. Now, I want you to go in that fridge, and if you have the garlic that's chopped up in the oil that says minced in oil, go throw it away. I'll wait. You are worth good garlic. I don't mind if you cheat and get the already peeled, because who's got time to peel the garlic and all the mess? Oof. But do not use the stuff in the olive oil. You're better than that. Your food's better than that. You've earned more than that. But you do want to get this garlic chopped up and beautiful and into almost a paste. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You want to take your garlic and you're going to put it on a cutting board. Okay, now you have your garlic. Now think about who you're maddest at the most in the world. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's Corona. Who knows? But you're gonna take the backside of your knife and you're gonna smash this. Oh, doesn't it feel good? That's called therapy, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna smash up your garlic, and what you're doing is, not only is it cathartic and you're getting out your issues, but you are actually breaking up the garlic to get the oil out. That's what you want, so we can make a paste and speed up this process. Smack. Naughty garlic, you've been bad. Now you're gonna take kosher salt. We always wanna use kosher salt, not iodized salt. It's too salty and very easy to over season. And sea salt is a chef's misnomer. It takes a lot of salt to get it seasoned well, and you'll end up over seasoning and spend way too much money. Kosher salt, it's the best. You're gonna put a little bit of kosher salt on there, and I take a little bit of pepper. This is not normally the way you do it, but it speeds the process up. And then you're gonna start chopping. You're gonna run it over, you're gonna run your knife. This is what you call a rough chop. You're not worried about cuts. You're not worried about what it looks like. You're not worried about the size. You're worried about getting it chopped up. rough chop. You just want to get it chopped. Because what's happening is, you ever exfoliate your face and you get all the gunk off of it? That's sort of what you're doing with the garlic. The kosher salt is acting like an abrasive force for it and is getting all of that oil out of our garlic. This way, you have good, fresh garlic and oil without using that stuff that's minced up. I don't even know what that is. Go throw it away. Okay, so we're getting our garlic beautifully, and you're just gonna take your knife, and you can see that you're starting to create this paste for it. Oh, that is beautiful. Keep chopping till it gets almost liquidy. If you don't want to do this by hand, you can always do it in a blender or a food processor, or even immersion blender would work. Gonna see, you can see all the liquid on the cutting board. Okay, you're gonna take your garlic. Now, whenever you're pulling stuff off of your cutting board, remember the blade is your friend. You don't want to do anything to hurt her, bruise her, dent her, beat her up. That's right, baby. I got your back. So you always want to take the back side of your knife. You want to scoop up your product, and you want to throw that into your pan. Now be careful, because there's still a blade hanging out on the other side. And you don't want any of your work to go to waste, so we want to make sure we get it all. Okay, let's talk about seasoning. Whenever you season things, whenever you're using dry spices like salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne, any sort of dry spice, which is the ground up spices. An herb is the flower, the spice is the seed. Think about that. The herb is the flower, the spice is the seed. Coriander is the seed that gets you cilantro. So you think about it like that, right? So you have the seed, that's the hard spice. Whenever you're cooking with hard spice, the way to activate that flavor is through fat or oil or liquid. Think about that. So have you ever made a barbecue sauce? You ever made a marinara sauce? And people tell you to throw the hard spice at the end? It does no good. When you got your fat going, you got your oil going, you've got your liquid going, that's what activates your hard spice. Hard spice, oils. So before we do anything else, we've got our garlic working in there that's created its own oil. Now we want to season our mushrooms. When you season food, you season at every level. What does that mean? That means if you're making pasta, you put salt in the water. If you're pulling the pasta out, you season a little bit. If you're making vegetables, you season those. If you're making a steak with the vegetables, you season that. You season at every level. So we want to use a little bit more kosher salt. We want to take our cracked black pepper. And if you don't want to use a salt and pepper grinder, you don't have to. A salt cellar works well. It's easy, it's less mess. You can close it at the end of the night, and it's great. Now, if you don't have fresh parsley, which a lot of people don't because it goes bad and they don't know what to do, and who wants to do all the chopping, dried parsley will work very well for this recipe. So you're gonna take some dried parsley. Now don't go crazy, because parsley can choke a horse. So you just wanna go a little light dusting of your parsley. Now, what I just told you about hard spices and seasonings being activated by some sort of liquid or acid. We want to go ahead and we want to put in our acid. In this form, our acid is lemon juice. Whenever you're making food and it tastes good, but it just doesn't taste great, and you're not dancing, you're not making out with your food yet, it's because it's missing something. You need to go further with the seasoning. And a lot of home cooks will just keep adding salt on salt, but that doesn't do it. You need to make sure you have salt mixed with acid, mixed with fat. That's what gives you that flavor where you start dancing all over there. Okay, so our acid today, our little makeout buddy, is gonna be a lemon. Whenever you have a lemon, you know the summer is the best for them. They're the most delicious. You can always give it a little roll. That gets it in the mood. You know, you're kind of touching it on its naughty parts, and it's getting excited, ready to do what it's supposed to do for you. So we're gonna slice it in half, and then we're gonna squeeze. Now, the chef's trick is, right, use your hands, right? You can use a filter, you can use a sieve, but your hands will work too. Okay, so we're gonna squeeze out. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so exciting. This one's happy to see us. So we're gonna squeeze our acid in there, which is really gonna activate our flavor. We're gonna put this in there for our compost pile. We're gonna add a little bit more acid. Oh my gosh, it is exciting. Look at it, you can see it. It's all over the place. Good job, Betty. Okay, we're gonna squeeze this in there. And then we want to add another layer of aromatics, an onion. Onions are your best friend. They're the basis of almost every cooking, and they're in every sauce, soup, stock. I mean, you name it, it's in it. Now, we want to cut our onion, but we have to do a very small dice on this, right? Because we want it to add flavor without overpowering our mushrooms. Mushrooms are like a blank canvas that take up all the flavor. So you want to be able to give it its flavor, right? So we're going to slice our onion. Let's wipe off our board, because I'm making a mess over here, per usual. Ask my husband. We're going to slice our onion. You always, whenever slicing anything, fingers back, use your knuckles as your guide, and you want to cut off the ends. Cut off the end. Whenever you're slicing anything, you always want to give your fingers and the vegetable the best shot. Always give it a base so it's not moving around. Put this in our compost pile, waste not, want not, right? And then we're going to slice this in half. Save this for later. Now, what kind of onions do you say? Well, whenever you're pickling something or marinating something, you don't want to use a red onion. And although I love pink, everybody knows it. But if you try to pickle or marinate a red onion, you will turn all your food pink. Pink mushrooms? Perhaps, but maybe not this time. I always like to use the Texas sweet onions, Vidalia onions if you can get them, but good Spanish onions, Texas onions, they're all delicious. Okay, so we're gonna slice down our onion. You don't wanna slice all the way through it because we're gonna go back and we're going to slice down it, right? So we're gonna make a little dice for ourselves. Remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. You're cooking for your friends, your family, your loved ones, and you're cooking for free, so, enjoy it. We're gonna throw our onions in there. Make sure you get them all. You cut them, you want them all in there. Once you have your onions in there, you've got your garlic going, you've got your acid going, you want to add a little bit of granulated sugar. This will give you a little bit of sweet to go with the earthy, the salty, and that really vibrant mushroom flavor that you're creating. Now, once you've got all your vegetables in there mixing up and they're starting to dance and they're starting to make out and they're so excited, you're going to add the best part of the party, a little bit of olive oil. Now, when you're buying olive oil, you want to make sure that you use the dark olive oil. The darker the can, the better the olive oil. You don't want one that's light or that you can see through because it's not going to be very good. And light olive oil is just canola. We want to drizzle a little bit of olive oil in there. Oh my gosh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. And we're going to mix this all up. Oh, they're so happy. It's like the best bath in the world, and they are just bathing beauties. They're gorgeous. Look at them. Oh, well done, ladies. Well done. We're going to cover this, and we're going to let it sit for 24 hours. Oh my gosh. So after letting it sit for 24 hours, covered and chilled, all of a sudden you will pull out the most delicious, juicy, earthy, garlicky marinated mushrooms you've ever had. Now, should I share these with the family or just keep them for myself? If you like this recipe and want to keep cooking with me, make sure you push the like button and subscribe to my page. I'll see you soon.